He takes the timeout. They're out of timeout. Technical foul. Technical foul.
He's Tate Frazier sitting across from me. I am Mark Titus. Producer Kyle's over there. Are we Titus and Tate or Tate and Titus?
You won. You're the top bill. You're Titus. Titus and Tate.
Tate and Titus sounds better. What was the reason we decided Titus and Tate?
I think I didn't want to take shots by being first, because people are already upset that I'm on your podcast, so I went second, yeah.
Tate was getting a big head because like every third Bill Simmons podcast, Tate chimes in with like a, huh? Yeah, I agree, Bill. And then that's it. And then
God, he became shut up.
He became super famous, and we had to
keep me in check. Keep me humble, guys.
So we are taping this Friday, casual Friday. It's currently about 2 p.m. here in Los Angeles, where we both are.
It's so casual, Titus, that I have the exact same clothes on that I wore yesterday. And I got pointed out by producer Jim, so thank you, Jim.
So there are some games today going on. If for some reason you're listening to this Friday night, Saturday morning, and I don't know,
as we're talking right now,
happened.
Virginia is playing VCU right now. I think that's like the biggest game that's happening as we speak.
And then you're saying, why didn't you talk about how Ty Jerome had 45 points? And it's
what about Devin Hall? What about his 3-point shooting?
And the answer is because we're taping it as it's happening. So. Not a ton happened since the Champions Classic, but things did happen. UCLA needed overtime to beat Central Arkansas. Is that the Scottie Pippen?
Yes.
Alma mater.
Congrats to Scottie Pippen. That was like the number one thing. It was like, I think Kyle Anderson even tweeted this.
Oh yeah, I saw.
Was Scottie Pippen playing in this game? No.
My favorite thing about UCLA is just their entire program is the alums.
Yes.
And the most notable being Bill Walton, but like the alums who complain about the state of UCLA basketball, no matter what it is. Like Kyle Anderson, I didn't actually see what you're talking about, but I know that I guarantee Kyle Anderson's going to be like this all season. It's not
that's why he's a great Spurs player, because the Spurs is basically like a college team. Like when you go to the NBA, it's like playing for a university.
Right.
So he just popped right up to the Spurs. Like he's still basically at UCLA. He stays really connected to the whole program.
The Ben Howland era with Bill Walton calling the games was like the happiest I've ever been in my life. It was like watching those games, and Walton just. Oh,
I almost get a little choked up when I think about Kevin Love making an outlet pass to like Josh Selby up ahead or something.
Yeah. UCLA goes to like 3 straight Final Fours, and Bill Walton's bitching about how they didn't win any of them. And good times.
I think he's the backup point guard.
Another notable thing: Northwestern lost to Creighton. The big Northwestern Renaissance in Chicago.
It's pressure now. So like we saw Northwestern, we saw them rise, and they got to the top of the mountain. But now everyone's back. They're bearing down on them, and I don't know if they're going to handle it. They're already spiraling at this point.
It's the difference between the hunter and the hunted, Tate. It's the age-old...
The predator or the prey, all right?
Conundrum of sports, Do
you blame that they don't have a home arena right now? Is that the problem? I think that's what it is.
That's got to be the excuse.
Or maybe just playing in the same building as DePaul is just losing. It's just seeping into you.
Every dog likes to bark at the mailman, bark at the mail truck, but when he finally catches up to the mail truck, he doesn't know what to do.
He's like, what am I doing
here?
What was this about?
What was all this about?
What's
That's
the chase
Northwestern.
about?
They got there. They don't know what to do now that they're here. The other big thing, just kind of thinking broad strokes, was Michael Porter. We're going to get to him in a little bit.
The mystery
of Michael Porter. No one has any idea what the hell's going on with that guy. But there was one marquee game, I think, nationally that kind of got everyone's attention in college basketball the last few days since the Champions Classic, which was the last time we did a podcast. So if you're kind of late to the game and you're wondering why aren't they talking Champions Classic, go back.
Just rewind.
Hit the subscribe button. Go get the last one
or previous.
The Xavier Musketeers went to Madison, Wisconsin.
Yep.
Showed zero class, no class whatsoever, Tate, in beating Wisconsin by 10 points. Wisconsin was up 66-64 with 2.5 minutes to play. Mm-hmm. Wisconsin has a 2-point lead with 2.5 minutes. They end up losing by 10 in regulation. And I got to say, no class from the Xavier Musketeers.
I was going to say they blew it.
Oh, they blew it. Ooh, I like that. I see what you did there.
Yeah, they did it. So we get to talk about college basketball in general, like, when someone loses a game in professional sports, it's just like, oh, that team lost. In college, there's like all these technicalities that people get upset about. It's like, if you do like the wave or you do like the shush shine, if you storm the court. There's like all these little things that will upset people. And in this game, Trayvon Blewett did the shush shine.
Trayvon Blewett hits a three.
Yeah.
I think it was the second. So, yeah, Wisconsin was up 66-64 with about 2.5 minutes left. Blewett, then they tie it, and there's like a minute and a half or so left. Blewett hits a three that hits the rim, hits off the backboard, and then goes in. And I don't think he shushed him then. I think he hits.
No, that was the first one.
That was the first one.
Yeah.
And then Ethan Happ goes for a steal.
Gets a steal.
Has it. Loses it.
Yes.
And then there's like a run out. Blewett hits a wide open three that because like Wisconsin was out of position because they had to steal.
69-66.
69-66, and Blewett does the shush to the crowd. Not that much longer later, JP Sleeves, which by the way, no more sleeves.
Formerly
on JP
known
Sleeves.
as JP Sleeves.
And so JP Macura,
Yeah.
who we called JP Sleeves last year because he wore full length sleeves all of last season. He's not been wearing the sleeves this year. I thought it was just like a 1 or 2 game thing. If you don't wear sleeves in Madison, Wisconsin, that is like the coldest place. And I know it's only November, and I know like in January is when it like really gets cold. But they turn the AC on. I've played there. I played there 4 times in my career. They turn the AC on. They have like ice underneath the thing. It's the coldest place on earth. If he's not wearing sleeves there, I think the sleeves are done. It's very sad.
Are you telling me that they actually like turn the AC? Like,
I swear
why?
they do. It's the coldest. So that's how Wisconsin. Remember, like when Bo Ryan was cooking, like he had great things going at Wisconsin with like all these buzz cut guys, like the era of the buzz cuts, and you couldn't name a single player on their team because you're just like these guys are bums. They would never lose at home, and everyone. It was like the most head scratching thing. It was like the best home court advantages are like Kansas. Well, duh, it's Kansas. They have
The Fieldhouse.
They have 5 stars and the Fieldhouse, and it's Duke. It's like, well, yeah, that's Duke. They're great.
They also turn the heat on.
Yeah,
they do the same thing.
Yeah, but like
Opposite.
at least they have like NBA players and they're great. It's just is it because of the gym or because they have a great team? We don't really know.
Both.
And then like there would always be Wisconsin on these lists, and everyone would be like, "Wow, this is pretty shocking, isn't it? Like Wisconsin is their best players, John Lure. How do they always win these games? I'll tell you how they win these games. It's like 30 degrees inside the gym. They play with that Sterling basketball. They're the only because like
I hate that. There needs to be a rule that you get to pick. Like one time a season, like one away game where you get to pick the basketball as your team because it's messed
it's
up.
ridiculous.
The way they set it up.
It's ridiculous.
People that play with the rock, that ball is totally different than any other ball you ever
Wisconsin
play with.
plays with the. I've complained about this many times, but I will complain about it many more. They play with the Sterling basketball. They're the only school in the country that has the Sterling basketball. The story is that Bo Ryan in 1941, when he was a young whippersnapper coming up in the coaching ranks, tried to hold a coaching camp in like the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, like La Crosse, Wisconsin. That's the first one that came to mind because I think Bronson Koenig was from there. I was trying to think of a random city in Wisconsin. So he's holding this camp. He's trying to get like a sponsor for it, which, speaking of sponsors, Tate and I need a sponsor.
Spalding.
Maybe Sterling will sponsor us. Probably not after I...
Yeah, not the Rock either.
Probably not
We
after
just
I'm going to
throw him
complain
out.
about this. So he's trying to find a sponsor. He needs balls to run this camp. He does the thing like the Josh Pastner where he wrote to every coach in the country and was like, can I please come to your school? And only Lute Olson returned the thing.
Lute Olson really hit him.
That's what Bo Ryan apparently does to all these ball companies, and they're like, no, we don't care. And the one company that responded was Sterling. And so instead of saying like, hey, thanks, that's all he really needed was to write a note that said, hey, thanks, appreciate it. He decided, I'm going to play with Sterling basketballs for the rest of my life, and I'm going to torture Mark Titus when he comes to Madison and tries to hit threes and warm-ups because he has to shoot like this rubber turd of a basketball. And that's my story, Tate. So that's what Wisconsin uses. They use this shitty ball. They turn the temperature down, and that's why they win.
But maybe that's why Koenig is such a good 3-point shooter now that he's gotten to the NBA because he gets to play with the normal basketball.
The NBA
and
balls,
Nigel Hayes, the same thing. Like he's improved since he's gotten to the NBA.
Because the NBA balls suck too. I don't know if you ever shot one of those.
Yeah.
Those things are slippery as hell.
Yeah, they're huge.
terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were used to shooting shitty balls. It was probably like an improvement, honestly. Like the Wisconsin guys are the only people that go to the NBA and use like a better ball than they use in college. So anyway, we're getting off track. Macura catches an alley-oop and does a gator chomp. Which,
very strange, right?
No, it's not. So I here's another story that I learned from my travels to Madison. The gator chomp thing, like I don't know why I'm doing it because no one can see us.
If you're watching the video, you can.
If you're listening to the podcast, yeah, you can see me do the gator chomp. The gator chomp thing is like a Wisconsin thing too. That's like supposed to be a badger chomp. So I knew this because... All
right, so that's our new question for the week. Do badgers chomp? If they do, please send us video. We will check it out, and we'll make sure that
I'm going to tell you how I know this. We played when I was a freshman, when we played at Wisconsin, we played the day this was to give people a timeline idea. This was the Greg Oden team at Ohio State, 2006, 2007. Wisconsin had a really good team that year. They were ranked in the top 5 all year. We go to Wisconsin. Our game is the night after the football national championship. And that year, Ohio State played Florida in the national championship. Ohio State runs back the opening kickoff, then gets absolutely destroyed the rest of the way. Yeah, Ted Ginn breaks his foot. Yep. They get absolutely destroyed by Urban Meyer, who was coaching at Florida at the time. So then the next night, we're playing Wisconsin at Wisconsin, and we come out of the huddle, and it's like it's a huge game because I think we're both ranked in the top 5, and all the students start doing the Gator Chomp, and I was so pissed because I thought they were doing it about the Florida game. I was like, we're not the football team. It made me so not mad because I was like, we're not even the football team. I don't care that they lost. We're separate. We're a separate entity. I was so mad that I wasn't mad that I became mad. It was like the weirdest thing, and I didn't understand it at all.
The inception of madness.
Yeah, and then I looked it up, and I guess that's like something they do. Isn't that the weirdest?
That makes no sense. Now it makes sense that Florida hit the shot on them last year because they were like, "That's our chomp."
Well, I saw
stop stealing.
Yeah, I saw someone. Someone said Mercure was doing that because he was like rubbing in last year's tournament thing.
Oh, the Chioza
which would make it awesome.
That would actually be great.
That would be awesome. But I'm guessing that the Wisconsin students did the thing to him.
You think it's more like a I don't know.
Yeah,
it can't be a full chomp.
It's like the full. It's a weird. I don't know.
That's embarrassing. Anyone? Come on.
Do the thing where you hold up the W or whatever it is. I don't know. Wisconsin. But so the story coming away from this game was Mercura's doing the chomp at the fans. Bluitt's shushing them. Steve Stricker, PGA Tour, Wisconsin fan.
Always paired with Tiger Woods at a Ryder Cup. Like that random dude. That's him.
Steve Stricker tweets, and I'm reading word for word his tweet. I am embarrassed for at Xavier men's basketball. A good team. He said they're a good team, so it's not that,
That's fair.
That's fair.
Just like us. We call people good all the time.
A good team, but I've never seen some of the Bush League things I saw tonight. Clearly, Chris Mack doesn't have control of his players.
See, I like that because when you attack the coach, then it puts the onus on them to be like, you got to control your players.
Yeah.
You know, it's not on a player because everyone's like, dude, you're attacking an 18-year-old kid. What are you about, Steve Stricker? No, Chris Mack as a man.
Love it. Yeah.
What's going on here?
It's the thing where, I deal with it. I see this a lot because, again, I'm a Ohio State alum. So when Urban Meyer guys get arrested and it's like the third.
What's happening with your program, Urban?
It's the third string long snapper got a DUI or something. Everyone's like, Urban has no control over these kids. Why doesn't he control 130 kids every single year and watch them at every second of it? Yeah, that's the move. It's just, you've lost control
Always
of the program.
Go at the coach.
So Stricker was not happy. Wisconsin fans were not happy. What we failed to mention so far is that Wisconsin students, one, like to get drunk.
Yes.
Spoiler alert, alcohol is a big deal in Wisconsin. They were chanting asshole and little dick. That was my favorite one. They started chanting little dick at JP Mercura. So I don't know who started it, but
we don't see that anymore. Let's just say, because I've been to a lot of games, and when JJ Redick was at Duke,
oh yeah,
boy did he get some chance that they would not be allowed today to be said. And I can't even say it on a podcast. Our crowd would have to run up the ladder for 15 hours. So I can't believe that they got away with that, and I can't believe that it's happening. But in 2017, like Wisconsin, they're playing by their own rules.
in a Big Ten bubble up until I got to high school, and when JJ Redick started going to Maryland, that was when I got introduced.
They were worse than Carolina fans, I think.
I was like, oh shit! So other places take college basketball just as seriously as the Big Ten. Wow, this is awesome.
We did the Acne. I'm the Dean Smith podcast, so I don't cuss, but it was Acne a-hole, and they were just chanting that Acne a-hole because he used to have all this at JJ. Because
JJ had acne on.
He had this back acne.
Oh really?
And he used to not wear a shirt underneath his shirt. When you go to Duke, they make you do something to make you detestable in some way. Like you get a weird haircut, or they do weird stuff over there. But his back, he had terrible acne on the back, and that was his freshman year. And people used to chant acne a-hole, and it got to him because he started wearing a shirt after that. Like he started wearing this long sleeve blue shirt.
He started wearing the cutoff.
Yeah,
too.
Then he started
the cutoff.
When he brought
disgusting.
the cutoff, that was like his junior year when he thought he was the man. It was great.
That was we should do a show where we just do fashions of college basketball. And the JJ Redick cutoff was, oh my god.
Losing the sleeves hurts though for JP. I feel like he's not the same guy.
No, but he's got the dude. My theory is this: he's kind of jacked. Like he's got the vein.
No, it's changed my outlook on him.
Yeah,
you know?
I think he hit the weight room hard in the offseason, and like he had a moment where he was like curling or something, and he was looking in the mirror, and he's like, I gotta let these puppies breathe this year.
Because we should say that the main reason that most guys wear shirts, it's not because like they like having a shirt on their jersey, it's because they're a little self-conscious.
Oh, absolutely.
That's all it's about.
Absolutely.
Like John Hinton his freshman year at Carolina, like he wore the longest, like it was like the triple XL, like all the way down to his like elbow, his long sleeve shirt.
Yeah,
you
can tell how guys feel about themselves based on how they dress. Like the baggy shirt guys, like Khalif White at Temple, he was like fat, so he wore like a baggy shirt, and he got buckets, but he was just like, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm good with the baggy shirt. That's fine by me. Another thing that stood out to me, so Blewett was killing. We're gonna talk about National Player of the Year candidates in a second. But we first have to talk about Brad Buzzcut, or is it Buzzcut Brad? Brad Davison, the guy in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think we should call him Buzzcut Brad.
Is Buzzcut Brad better than Brad? Yeah, I think so. Buzzcut Brad.
Do you know when I knew that he played at Wisconsin and he was going to be great at Wisconsin? He hit a 3 and he banked it in, but it was like one of those cash banks where it's like a swish bank.
Yeah.
And I was like, that guy belongs here, and I'm really excited for his whole run.
We mentioned him in the preview pod.
About
how,
a threat.
About how we just saw
in the exhibition games and stuff.
All I had seen was a picture of him, and I thought I had an idea, and I was really close to but he's better offensively than I thought he'd be. I was expecting more of like an Aaron Craft, like I just play really hard. I can't shoot.
Plays really hard.
He does play very hard.
Let's not downgrade.
He's got a stroke though. Like he was trying to pull step backs. He had one where I think he missed it, but he went like step back baseline. I was like, damn, this dude's like a freshman off the bench, just gunning like that.
He definitely is a scorer. Like he's there to score.
Also, my sources tell me. I'll have to fact check. I didn't actually write this down, so I don't remember. But my sources were telling me that maybe he was a high school quarterback. I don't know if that was.
I believe it.
No, they said it like 300 times. It's like you're gonna hear that all year. He was a high school quarterback. That's how you know he was like.
I want to say this for the people that are. I've gotten a lot of crap about like names and pronunciations and all these people. When I watch games, I'm usually editing a podcast or listening to another podcast for my job. So I don't listen to these announcers. I literally have no idea. I literally watch players, and it's like whoever stands out to me, and then I look at them and I read them. So. Don't come at me with like, did you hear what Vitale said about it? I don't listen to him. I can't.
There are a lot of bad college basketball announcers, Tate.
Yeah, they are. And that's why I don't even listen to them.
They're so bad, they're fun. We could do that too. We should have a week where we make you actually listen to games, and we'll like power rank our
I miss Dan Shulman. I want to hear him, but I just don't.
So, yeah, Brad Buzzcut, I love him. He's going to be awesome. Rolls up the pants, has the buzz cut, has the Wisconsin look, high school quarterback, has just kind of like the Wisconsin face, if we're being honest. Like, that's part of it too.
Isn't he 34 too?
Yeah, he wears 34. Yeah,
most innocuous number you could ever find.
I love the high school quarterback thing. Is just like so funny to me because it's only like a certain kind of guy that gets that. Like, do you understand that like half the guys that play college basketball that also played football were probably their high school quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Like this is not like a rarity.
It's
in college
you're
sport.
a superior athlete.
Yeah, like you're the good athlete, so we're gonna give you the ball. But for
especially
some reason,
in small towns, like people
it's
just
always
don't
like the
understand
little white guys that like are like the I don't know. It's the weirdest thing how they always bust that compliment out. Like you never hear that. Like how many times do you think Allen Iverson when he was at Georgetown, they were like he was his high school quarterback too, and like that proves that he's a good player. It's like no, we don't need to say that because he's I don't know.
I don't know
either. So Trayvon Blewett I think he had 25. I didn't actually write it down. He's 17 for 17 from the free throw line on the 100% season.
100% on the season, leads the whole nation.
He's averaging 25.3 points, 7.7 rebounds, 2.7 assists. Tate and I were planning for the pod today, going over guys who we thought were in the hunt for National Player of the Year because that's the move. You got to start talking about that stuff right now. It's important.
We just got to put it out there just so everyone knows where you stand.
You can't give it time to breathe. You can't like wait a little while. You
don't let it fester.
Right out of the gate, we got to have our candidates. By the way, we need a unified trophy. Is it the Naismith? Is it the Wooden Award? You know, like college football has the Heisman. Which one do you care more about?
I think it's the Wooden Award, right?
I see. I sometimes think Naismith. I don't know. This is the point.
There's a list online where they have if you go to NCAA.com, I think where they have like every year the Wood and the Naismith. Like most now like they all just match up. But if you go back in like the 70s, like when it started, it's like different every single year, which is really cool.
Didn't like 03 T.J. Ford and David West split it or something? I'm trying to think of that one. And then did Morrison and Reddick split or no?
No,
Morrison won one.
I think
he won like probably like the U.S. writers. of the Spokane Daily News like gave him something, or I don't know, because I was more of a Morrison guy when I was coming up, so I remember he won. I was like, yes, he got his one national player.
The Albuquerque Free Press says that he is.
I thought he.
National Player
I remember
of the Year.
in my mind they split National Player of the Year awards because I think he won something.
Well, they also were covered the exact same way, and that was the best part about him. So, like, if you were where I was from, like, everything was JJ Redick centric. Like, you get the covers and it was like regionalized. So it was everything. Like, if you were west of the Mississippi or whatever, you would get the Adam Morrison, and then if you were east, you would get the JJ Redick. But they were literally like you could just switch names out in the articles. Like, he's a grinder, he's a scorer, he's the new face of college basketball. It's like, okay, all right.
I remember Morrison. ESPN did a story one time where they talked about how Morrison. It was a huge deal that Morrison and Redick texted each other, and this was like 2006.
Yeah,
so it was like.
They were supposed to play each other in the title game.
Yeah, America wants to pit them against each other, but these guys, you know what? They actually text. And you're like, whoa.
Turns out they're friends.
Whoa, they text? Whoa, that's crazy. No kidding.
Does he have his AOL name?
Yeah, they're on AIM all the time. So Blewett is, we feel like there are three guys who are ahead of the pack right now in the early stages. Blewett is certainly one of them. Alonzo Trier's got to be mentioned. In 3 games, he's averaging 30. He's played 3 games, and he's still averaging 30 points a game.
It's amazing.
3.7 rebounds, 3.3 assists. That would be wild if Trier. How many teams have the number one? Like if Ayton plays his way into the number 1 draft pick, which I don't know how plausible that is.
Ayton has had a double-double in every game he's played. We should say that.
If Bagley's gonna have what if Bagley starts wearing goggles because he got poked in the eye and like he can't see? And
he's
then
gonna wear a mask. He's gonna wear the Kyrie black mask.
Michael Porter. No one. We're gonna get to him in a second. No one has any idea what the hell's going on with him.
We don't even know if Michael Porter can play basketball this year.
Who's the foreign dude?
Who? Brodzianski?
No, the guy that's gonna be drafted high, like
Luka Doncic.
Yeah, we can't do that. When was the last time like a European guy went number 1? Was it in 05 or something?
Yeah, Bargnani.
06.
Yeah, Bargnani.
Yeah, we can't do that.
We're not doing that.
So,
actually, that was 05, Bargnani, because remember the Pistons won the title, but then they had the number 1 pick, and so they drafted Bargnani to like fit in with their team, but their team happened to be Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, Tayshaun Prince, Chauncey Billups, and Rip Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to fit in with them, Bargnani. I don't think that was going to work.
No, that was 06. 05 was Bogut.
Okay, 05 was Utah Bogut, and then it was 06. Okay.
Yeah.
They made it to the finals, and they lost to the Spurs, and then they drafted Bargnani.
The point I'm making is Ayton has a chance to play himself into the number 1 draft pick. Trier is National Player of the Year material. How many times has that ever happened to have the number 1 pick and the National Player of the Year and have them 2 separate people? That'd be crazy. So we have Trier, we have Blewett, and then we have
an FBI investigation on top of it. That's a 1, 2, 3 right there.
And we have Grayson Allen, has to be mentioned, who, as it turns out, is actually good at basketball. You forget that
People forget.
2 years ago had a great year. All this controversy around him was not manufactured out of nowhere. He was tripping people, but the reason we cared that he was tripping people was because he's actually really good at basketball. When you take away all the other stuff, the guy can play. So those are the 3 guys. Are there anyone that you feel like is lurking other than those 3?
I'm going to say it. You're going to hate it. Bruce Brown.
I don't know if I hate it.
Miami.
Yeah.
Has
he put up numbers already?
Already had a triple-double this season.
Oh, okay.
Come on. Like, this guy's been great. Miami's an amazing team. I think we even discussed like how I think the big thing that people forget about Miami, they only start watching them when they beat Duke, which is like in February. And I think you said that you wrote that in your piece. I was like, it was like, we do it. I was like, why is that in my head? That's how it works,
because Miami plays like I'm not going to say weak. I'm not trying to like degrade Miami, like whatever. They just don't play like.
No, but they're number 11 in the country. Like,
they don't play nationally relevant non-conference games usually. They're not on a, you don't just turn on ESPN and see Miami playing a top 10 team and like, whoa, Miami, whoa.
Yeah, they're not in Atlanta. They're not in Maui.
They just kind of fly under the radar, and then they always beat Duke in January, and everyone's like, whoa. Duke lost to Miami. Duke sucks. And
don't you feel like every year everyone's
Miami's
like,
pretty good.
Can you believe Larinaga is the coach of Miami?
Yeah.
I feel like every year people are like realize he's the coach. It's like he's been there for like 6 years now, and he's like constantly winning, and he's got a program. Yeah.
So
that's my sleeper. But
that's your sleeper.
Yeah, and then Chris Clemens from Campbell, who leads the country 33 points per game. He's basically
that's such a lazy move by you.
What do you mean?
I'm going to call you out. That's such a lazy move to just like my sleeper is the guy leading the country in points.
No. I've known Chris Clemens. Chris Clemens, this is from North Carolina. He's playing in Buies Creek. This is a biased pick. It's not a lazy pick. It's a biased pick. Chris Clemens is basically like the new Steph Curry. He's like Isaiah Thomas. He's like 5'9". He just gets buckets, but he's like small, mid-major guy that can just score on anybody. Go watch him.
That's legitimate then. You actually know stuff about it. But that's like the move is like if I don't know, if you ask if you tweet at Seth Davis and you're like, hey man, give me a sleeper pick for National Player of the Year. Seth Davis, I guarantee you, is just gonna Google who's leading the country in scoring. And he'd be like, ooh, I like this guy.
He's like, watch out for Kendrick Nunn in Oakland.
So Trae Young, the one guy we were talking about him in our previews, Oklahoma. He's the question about him, about Oklahoma as a team is like everything I heard about him was like he's good.
He's going to change the program.
Yeah, but he's also kind of a loose cannon. He's going to like throw it into the third row a lot, and he's going to be the guy that averages the Evan Turner triple-double where it's like points, rebounds, turnovers.
Yeah, my favorite.
The Evan Turner over the Turner, I don't remember.
Turnover.
Turner over, yeah. Trae Young is off to a great start. 18 points a game, 11 and a half assists per game.
Leads the country in assists per game.
Yeah, he does. And on top of that, he's averaging 18 and a half points and 4.5 rebounds. That's pretty good. So he's off to a pretty good start.
It's pretty good.
But the one name we have to mention that you are trying to
stifle.
You're trying to keep your homerism at bay, but you want to say it. Your friend, my friend, Luke May.
The brows.
I
don't know. I feel like him and Anthony Davis should have something together, because they're both the brow. But like, I don't want Luke to take the brow away from Anthony Davis. But I don't think Anthony Davis embraces it enough. So I hear what you're saying. Luke very clearly has two eyebrows. Yes, that is true.
He does not have the unibrow, because I researched. So I wrote about Luke May for my power rankings piece on TheRinger.com this week. .com. And I was I was on page 7 of Google Images of Luke May because I was just trying to get inspired by. I was trying to think, like, the whole point of it, the piece or my little section on Carolina is I was trying to think of a nickname, and we're going to workshop these in a second. But I kept I stared into those eyebrows until they started staring back at me, and there's definitely
there's a break there,
yeah.
But I think the more that he continues to, I think he's averaging 23 points per game, which is very Jordan-esque of him to do, very on brand. If he just gets it to a point where he's averaging 27, 30, it just continues to slowly go. It's like a caterpillar, just slowly going across. That's what I'm hoping for.
So Luke May, 23 points a game, 9.5 rebounds a game, 2 assists a game.
It's beautiful.
Are you ready to say he's
hitting step back jumpers like Dirk?
He's had this in him, by the way. He had this in him last year. I remember going to Vegas to watch the first Kentucky-Carolina game, when Malik Monk had 47. That game was up and down. So much talent on the floor. Luke May checks off the bench, and he carried himself like he was the guy. He was like, I'm the best player out here. I'm going to shoot fade step backs, with the hand in my face. He was killing that game. And I've respected him ever since then.
The best pregame quote before the Elite Eight game against Kentucky was they were asking Cal what to worry about. You expect the usual canned answers of that Joe Barry's not too bad. We need to watch out for him, and we don't want Kenny Meeks to kill us on the inside. He was like, I'm worried about number 32. He didn't even know his name. He was like, I'm worried about number 32 off the bench. He was like, that guy killed us last game, especially on the boards.
Yeah.
Luke May had 16 rebounds against Kentucky.
But he's so
fundamental. Just
the question, Tate, in all seriousness, is Luke May some part of you wants to make him some sort of punchline because he hit the shot to beat Kentucky. He's got the eyebrows. He didn't really play that much.
He's great.
He had the walk-on thing going, which, by the way, I don't think that's true, right? He wasn't actually a walk-on.
No, he's preferred scholarship.
He had a scholarship the whole way. But that was part of the story too, to where it became this whole thing where it's hilarious that Luke May is actually good. It's not funny anymore, is it?
No.
He's actually very, very good.
He's actually always been good. I mean, his dad was the quarterback at Carolina, so people don't
so that's how you know he's good at basketball.
Well, just athletic, right?
It's the quarterback gene.
Yeah, it's the quarterback gene. So it all checks out. And then I think the funny thing with Luke is that I think most Carolina fans are very sensitive because it seems like people only care when we have this great white guy. So when we had Hansbrough, everyone was like, Hansbrough's so good. But it's no, we had Ty Lawson, Wayne Ellington, Danny Green, and all these other guys. So now the same thing is happening. It's we have Joel Berry and Jalik Felt, and all these guys are coming to their own, and everyone's still that Luke May. I don't know. So that's how I
wouldn't mind my daughter being that. He could take my daughter out. I like that Luke May.
So I think that's what the reservation is. Everyone's we got other players.
Yeah. So In my power rankings today, I said we need some sort of campaign because Joel Berry, who's a friend of the program, is the face of Carolina basketball right now.
Absolutely.
And if we're going to make a push for Luke May to win National Player of the Year,
he's got to take a step back.
We don't have to rip Joel Berry. He can have his own separate campaign, but we need some sort of campaign for Luke May.
Well, he should go for the Kuzi Award. That's what I've been trying to think.
Yeah.
So he should just be
That's
like
a classy move.
He's like the Kendall Marshall
That's
move.
a very
where
classy
I'm trying to
move.
win the Kuzi Award. Like I'm the best point guard in the country, but the greater goal is my teammates.
He's not trying to win. Yeah, and you can just come out and say like that's super humble. Like I'm not trying to win any awards, but you are trying to win an award. But you're not going for the.
I'm a point guard first.
Yeah.
That's what he's got to say.
We gotta get Joel on here to talk about this. We gotta So Luke May needs a campaign, and people were throwing out hashtags. The hashtag I threw out because as I was writing that section, it was like 3 a.m. I was I was on page like 7 of Google Images, just trying to find inspiration, and the hashtag I threw out is terrible. The eyebrows-al arousal.
I
Terrible.
didn't think it was terrible.
I said it to myself. I started watching the game back, and I said it to myself like 3 or 4 times as I was watching Luke May, and I just started dying laughing. I was like, I'm going to go with that. But some people submitted some better ones. The 2 that stood out to me are Luke Bay, hashtag Luke Bay, BAE. I'm not really sure how I feel about that one. I'm not really a Bay guy.
Yeah, that's very, coastal elite.
Are you a Bay? Do you say Bay? Even ironically?
No, ironically I did when it first, but that was like 2 years ago. We've all grown up.
I still don't even really say Bay. I don't know. I'm trying to just. I mean, maybe I'm just older. I don't know.
My girlfriend says Bay.
Really?
But like,
oh man,
it's tough. That's tough.
Congrats on having a girlfriend, man. That's
man,
cool. Good for you.
Kyle loved it. Kyle loved it.
That one.
Kyle's dead.
The other hashtag, I actually like this one, is hashtag it's gonna be May, like the NSYNC Justin Timberlake thing.
Yeah.
But like it works because you stare at it and you say who's gonna be the National Player of the Year.
It's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May. I think that my own might be the winner. We'll have to keep working.
Mine
on this.
is Luke May made it. Like Mike Will made it, but it's Luke May made it. But it's not gonna work.
I don't know. But we have to have some sort of campaign. So none of this is gonna matter. Luke, like Barry's back now.
Win.
Barry's gonna start killing.
I think he might win it.
Luke May's gonna. You really think so?
You know why? Because the officials love him.
Really?
Isaiah Hicks couldn't get a call last year. I mean, there's just no way he would get in. I wish that I could replace Isaiah Hicks with Luke May because this year Luke May is getting it's like Tyler Hansbrough again.
Yeah.
They just love making calls.
Gonzaga fans love this. They love hearing a North Carolina fan complain about how you can't get any calls. They're loving listening.
Had it been an actual fair game, I mean,
this.
Zach Collins would have fouled out with like 12 minutes left. They let him hang around a little longer.
So, National Player of the Year right now, 3-horse race. We have some dark horses. Bonzi Colson's kind of he's still fine. Miles Bridges is doing good. He's all right. We got to get him at the 4.
Yeah,
he's got to play his
just play your position, man.
But he's putting up numbers. Like like the thing is, the Duke game, we felt like he kind of disappeared. He was actually doing what? Like he hit 5 threes. He was scoring.
We would say
he just wasn't as good as he should.
Ben Lammers is in the conversation, right?
Yeah, he's only played 1 game.
I still think he's in the
24 and 10.
Yeah, I still think he's in the conversation. I'm trying to think about who else I've seen that's really popped up. Tremont Waters, honestly, at LSU. I watched him play. He had like 5 steals in the game I watched.
I got a sleeper for you.
Who's that?
Hold on, give me a second. Let me Google who the second leading scorer in the country is.
I got it. It's Matt Mobley.
Yeah, there you go. I've been a huge fan of his. The way you got to watch how he. Just the way he approaches the game, really inspiring.
Guy's a scorer. He's just a gunner.
So let's look forward to the week ahead in college basketball. Next week is kind of the big. So there are 2 announcing the arrivals of college basketball. The first is the Champions Classic every year. Are we announcing the college basketball arrival or are we announcing the NBA future draft pick arrival?
Yeah.
That's kind of what that's become.
Let's watch the 4 guys between Duke and Kentucky and Kansas who are going to go to the NBA next year.
Watch the one and done guys.
Yeah.
That's what that's become. It started out as like, this is a big thing, but yeah, it's become that. So the real sort of this next week is the week that you have games on in the middle of the afternoon. You're home from Thanksgiving. Maybe you took the whole week off.
These are the games like you walk inside and it's like, oh my God, Creighton's playing UCLA. This will be fun. And it's like the second half and 12 minutes are left, and like Marcus Foster has 18, and you're like, oh, okay.
It gives you like a March Madness sort of feel.
Yeah,
that it's just games on. You can just flip back and forth. You got games all day, every day. So let's look ahead to some of these tournaments that we have coming up. You're smiling.
First of all,
you're very excited for this.
Well, I just want to talk about the problem with Thanksgiving tournaments. And the problem is that we have too many tournaments, Titus.
We have a lot of tournaments.
We have so many tournaments that I'm actually going to just throw out some names, and you're going to tell me if you think it's real or not. First off, Emerald Coast Classic. Real tournament.
Emerald Coast Classic.
Yes.
That is true.
True.
That's true.
That's in Destin, Florida. That's November 24th and 25th. The stars of that tournament are Tennessee Tech and Maryland Eastern Shore, so be sure to check that one out. Another one, the GCI Great Alaska Shootout.
Great Alaska Shootout's real. Now, hold on. The Great Alaska Shootout is the one getting squeezed out of all this. I think they're like, I don't even know if they're going to continue the Great Alaska Shootout.
This might be the last
year. That used to be
year.
the thing back in the day. It was like you had the Maui. I honestly think like Great Alaska Shootout is like the oldest or like second oldest.
Yeah,
of these
well,
little
it was the Maui partner. So like you would always have
cool
the
thing.
ESPN had both the rights to those. So it was like just in case you didn't have enough basketball
That
tonight.
hurts, man.
Santa Clara's playing Idaho later.
I'm a big Alaska fan. Alaska's my favorite state in the country. I'm 100% serious. I love.
Have you ever
Alaska.
been there?
Yeah, I have. It's like heaven on
never
earth.
been.
I love Alaska. So anyway, continue.
I love Alaska too. Sorry, Alaska. I didn't want to be mean. Wooden Legacy Tournament.
That one's true. That one's in Anaheim, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a real one. All right. Last one. The Elmer's Glue Special Classic Edition. Just kidding. This is all made up. But those are all real. I just can't believe they're all real, and I just kept reading them out. And
Yeah.
This is weird. There's just too many tournaments.
There's too many tournaments.
We need Maui. We need the NIT in New York in Madison Square Garden. And we need maybe the GCI Alaskan Shootout just for the sake of history.
We need to get the Alaskan Shootout back. We need to fight. That's the big.
I think we got to cut Atlantis. We got to cut this Wooden Legacy Tournament.
We need to convince college basketball programs to take 7-hour flights to Alaska in November. It shouldn't be that hard. We can do it. We can do it. Yeah, Maui was always the one. The Maui field. Well, let's go over some of the fields for this year. Maui this year, the premier teams: Wichita State, Notre Dame, Michigan, and Marquette. That's probably it. That's probably all we really care about this year, right?
Well, you don't care about Chaminade? Come on. I always like to check in on Chaminade to see how they're doing.
Do you know Chaminade one time beat Ralph Sampson? Did you know this?
They've been riding that for like 40 years.
So not a great field. I'll be honest. And I say this as someone who last podcast said Wichita State might be the best team in the country, and you gave me shit for that.
That's what I said. This is the thing. Wichita State's going to win that tournament. I'm really hoping that Notre Dame shows up, and this could be the game. We're talking about sleepers for National Player of the Year. This could be one of the early ones where Bonzie Colson goes off against Wichita State and beats them, and then
Maui
everyone freaks
is
out.
a perfect place for Notre Dame Michigan game in Maui.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to play in the second round if they both win.
Yes.
Oh my God. That's Maui. The gym is like designed. Remember when Adam Morrison had like 6,000 points in Maui?
That's when people lost their minds for him. Yes.
Yeah. Because the rims, they have the softest rims. It's hot as hell in there, and shooters love hot gyms. Notre Dame, Michigan, like the two most fun teams. I just now I'm looking at this as it didn't even cross my mind as I was like prepping for.
Yeah, we get Wagner on a big.
We're gonna get Notre Dame and freaking Michigan in Maui.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's gonna be awesome. I changed my mind. I am excited for Maui. So Wichita State Notre Dame is kind of the championship game that that Maui is kind of shooting for. They want that would be the eventual championship. There could be upsets. Maybe Michigan gets in there. Maybe Marquette wins. I don't know. That would be on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving.
Yep.
That's the Maui Invitational. The big one that's kind of like, are we ready to say it's overtaken Maui?
That's the whole point of this conversation.
I think it is.
Maui,
yeah.
I'll tell you, the date that Maui died as far as being in North Carolina, played in Maui last year, was a great tournament. I enjoyed it. There was a great North Carolina-Wisconsin game where I was like, wow.
Did they win Maui?
Yeah.
Isn't that their thing? Like they win the national title when they win Maui?
Every single year they win the national championship, they win in Maui. It's really strange. But in 2008, North Carolina played in Maui the year they lost to Kansas in the Final Four and got blown out by Darrell Arthur and them. They played, it was Hansbrough versus Herringody. And for people, if you want to go back and watch something hilarious, go watch the coverage of Tyler Hansbrough and Luke Herringody before that game, because they acted like it was the showdown of the century. It was like bird magic. It was like Herringody, Hansbrough. Who is the man in college basketball? It was
Holy
so great.
hell.
So that's when Maui peaked for me, and then after that, it's been just kind of sad.
And what's taken its number one spot for a lot of people is the battle for Atlantis.
Yep.
That has been these games are like in a convention center.
So I've been to the Battle for Atlantis.
Have you really?
Yeah. So I went in 2014 when North Carolina was there to cover it, and it's literally in a hotel. Like it's a casino right here. So when you come out of the games, like you'll see like Lon Kruger playing on the craps table. You'll see Roy Williams like playing blackjack, and you like see some of the older players, like just sitting there and like playing. So it's the best. So like if you're a fan, You just like sit around the casino. You get to talk to some of the players, talk to some of the coaches. We had UCLA there when I was there. Oklahoma was there. North Carolina was there. Butler was there.
They get great teams.
Great.
They're getting great teams again this year. They got the championship game they're shooting for is Villanova, Arizona.
Yes,
that's supposed to happen next Friday. There could be upsets. Maybe it's not going to happen, but that's an insane game. That's going to happen in Atlantis in their little cosmic. It looks like a bowling alley on like Cosmic Bowling Night. That's the aesthetic they're going for down there. The battle for Atlantis has kind of become a bigger deal in Maui,
and it's a small venue. Like when you watch the game, like Carolina played Butler in that tournament, and there was like probably 40 Butler fans and like 40, 60 Carolina fans, and we were all just like sitting in this one little area, and it was awesome.
Is that in the Bahamas?
Yeah, it's in Nassau.
I don't like it. We can't have like the premier tournament be not in America. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I
we have
think
to fix that.
I think DeAndre Ayton is from Nassau.
He's gonna. Oh my god!
I know. I'm just saying. Like, I think this tournament has now trickled down to like the generation of like
so you're
like
saying
basketball players in Bahamas like go to this tournament. It's like a whole thing.
So
it's
like the way the Raptors were put in Toronto, and then now we're getting this influx of Canadian guys.
It's like Vince
good.
Carter was like sold his soul to Toronto to become the Michael Jordan of Canada to make Andrew Wiggins and all these other guys.
So it's like how the World Cup, how the United States hosted the World Cup in '94. Now we're seeing all these talented,
What happened to Freddie Adu?
No. So Atlantis has kind of become the big thing. I don't think I like that. I want to see Maui. I mean, let's be honest. It's just because no one wants to take the flight out to Maui.
Can we just talk about some of the games that started? Like we got NC State Arizona is going to be a great game. People are going to.
Is it?
I think so. I believe in Kevin Keats. We know that. I'm a Kevin Keats believer. I like that team. Braxton Beverly, your boy from Ohio State. Titus is having technical difficulties, just spilling his water everywhere. He heard Braxton Beverly and got shook. He lost him to North Carolina State. I think Purdue Tennessee is going to be a fun game. I'm excited to watch that. I don't know. I think that's the best tournament that you can watch this whole weekend. Pretty much. Yeah. Even Western Kentucky, like that's a good program.
Mitchell Robinson's going to try to come back during the halftime. He's gonna show up at halftime and change his mind. So it's Maui, Atlantis. We also have and part of the reason, if you look around, if you start like researching all these tournaments, it might jump out to you that the fields are weaker than usual. I already said that about Maui. I think that I don't even know who's in the NIT the preseason NIT.
It's Virginia. I'm going to tell you right now.
I remember looking it up and just being underwhelmed and saying
you're going to be freaked out right now. It's Virginia versus Vanderbilt, aka the non-bag versus the bag, and then you got Rhode Island versus Seton Hall.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let's keep it going.
Neat. Yeah, those are teams. Those are teams that'll be playing. Cool. A big reason why these fields feel weaker this year is because Phil Knight, the godfather of
the bag,
the godfather of dropping the bag. Like Sonny Vaccaro might be the godfather. Phil Knight is just the god. Sonny Vaccaro is
he put in the infrastructure for the bag to be dropped.
We gotta figure out the hierarchy of this. Phil Knight is just like
he went from like making shoes for people to run around a track to dropping the bag for millions of dollars and making his own tournament duffels. When he's 80. Yeah,
he makes very nice duffel bags. So we're having Nike in Portland is hosting the Phil Knight 80. The PK80
Phil
Classic.
Knight Invitational.
They're calling it like
the official name. Yeah,
I've seen people say like the first.
Well, they're trying to make a hashtag PK80.
Yeah,
because like they definitely did some market research and they were like, all right, it has to be 4 letters or numbers and put it together.
So we have in perfect college sports fashion, we have a very confusing situation where there's like 2 tournaments going on, but they're all under the same umbrella.
It's 2 brackets, but they don't play each other at the end. So it's a victory bracket and a motion bracket. And I will say this for Phil Knight, and I've always had problems with like who he has in his legion to. Is it North Carolina? Is it Duke? North Carolina's in the victory bracket. Duke's in the motion bracket. So, thanks.
Why
Phil.
didn't they do the remember the flight and force thing that Nike had going on like back in the early 2000s? We had like team flight versus team force.
Yeah, and then they did like the second coming, with the Joel Santana song. They've tried a lot of
motion. So we have the motion bracket that has the likes of Duke, Florida, Butler, Texas, Stanford, Ohio State, Gonzaga.
And Portland State.
The teams that are really good. I think Duke, Florida is supposed to be the championship game is what they're kind of shooting for. Ohio State will probably end up winning it. They're looking good right now. Looking really good. Those Buckeyes, they're coming.
I can't tell if Titus is always
just staring at me with his mouth agape like, what the hell are you saying? And then the victory bracket, Carolina, Oklahoma, UConn, Oregon. Yeah, Carolina got the easy. Oh, Michigan State's in there too. Yeah, so it's going to be Carolina, Michigan State in the final.
Well, here's my prediction on this one. I hate to say this as a North Carolina fan. I feel like Oklahoma is going to beat Arkansas, and Oklahoma is going to have Trae Young, and he's going to have like 27 and 15, and Oklahoma is going to somehow beat North Carolina.
Ooh, okay.
Actually, I'm not even going to say that because Oklahoma never beats North Carolina, even dating back to Blake Griffin. So let me recant on all that. North Carolina will play Michigan State in the final.
Yeah, so those are the two things that we're looking forward to. Outside of that,
good for DePaul. I will say this: I make fun of DePaul a lot. I'm glad they're in this tournament. They get to play Michigan State in the first game. People will watch them play.
DePaul squeezed into this?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know why?
Why?
Our boy Pat Ewing pulled out Georgetown from this tournament.
Oh, that's right. Pat Ewing, yeah, Georgetown is out, yes.
And then I think he got to, I don't know if he got to pick the team that replaced him, but I think he did because, like, who else would have picked DePaul?
It had to be a Big East team probably for, like, because you can't have.
If I was Chris Mullen, I'd be upset. I'd be like, come on, dude. Like, where's the old Big East that I knew?
That's hilarious. So, do you want to talk about Michael Porter? We've been kind of putting it off. I know you're excited to talk about this.
We're going to call this the Michael Porter Jr. mystery. Mark Titus. Michael Porter Jr., number one player in the country, our guy. His brother went there with him. His dad's there. His sister's there. His mom's there. Everybody that has ever been named Porter is now on the Missouri campus right now. But the main man they want to watch is not playing basketball. He's only played 2 minutes.
Played 2 minutes.
And he just got pulled out of the game. It wasn't even it was basically just like a tease. It was like when Tiger Woods hits like a little wedge shot and you see it on Twitter and you're like, holy shit, Tiger's coming back. You know, it's like literally that's all they gave us. And now we're at this position where Michael Porter Jr., they say it's a hip injury. That's what it comes out, right? That's the first thing we heard. It's a hip injury. And then Tuesday, he doesn't even sit on the bench when they play their game. And everyone says he's in the locker room.
He's not even on the bench.
He's not even on the bench, right? So if you have a hip injury or something, usually you're just in a suit, you're on the bench like most places would do.
Right.
But they say he's in the locker room, whatever, he's not going to come out. And then they travel. He doesn't fly with the team. And everyone's like confused, like why, if it's an injury, even if you have an injury, right, in college basketball and you're on the team, you still fly with the team wherever you're going to go.
Yeah, I was injured my entire senior year and I just like flew around the country.
Yeah, you just wear your tracksuit and you just like put on a nice suit if you're supposed to. So he doesn't do that. And then they ask Kwanzaa about it, and they're like, what's going on here? How's his hip doing? He's like, it's not a hip injury, it's a leg injury, and it's day to day.
So he's got
what?
Wait, what? He's got the hockey situation where the hockey people, like you see the hockey games, they report it's just like upper body injury or lower body injury, and they just keep it like super vague. That's how they're doing it. Interesting. Huh.
But what?
Huh.
But let's ask the tough questions here. There's no way this is an injury. This guy is smiling all the time.
Are you saying he is out with a pulled duffel bag? Is that what are you saying the real injury had something to do with
the bag?
The bag.
I think there were too many bags, and I think that they're trying to figure out what happened with all the bags that were in play. And I don't know where this ends or where this leads to, but I will say this: if I were a Missouri fan, I'd get used to the team I have, which is not a bad team at all.
This is the ultimate test of journalistic integrity for all those journalism school people. Like Missouri has the great journalism school.
Yes.
What do they do here? Do they like we're giving you the story right now?
Yeah. Report it.
We're giving you the story.
Yeah, we're throwing it out there.
But in doing so, you're going to have to sync your program. Are they going to do it? This is the test, Tate. How good of a journalist? If you don't do this, Northwestern and
do you want to enjoy your basketball games, or do you want to report a story and do your job?
Northwestern journalism program is going to be the one that everyone knows. And does Syracuse have the journalism or just the TV people?
No, it's journalism.
Yeah, they're going to
broadcast TV is their specialty.
Yeah.
You know,
that's not real journalism. Not guys like me that chase the stories and type it up. So yeah, what are the Missouri kids going to do? That's the interesting question. Quite the dilemma facing them.
I don't know what happens with this whole Michael Porter Jr. thing, but I feel like we're going to have one of those press conferences with like a weird, like, you know, no Missouri stuff on this back wall with like a black, you know, green screen behind him. And he's just going to have to give us a speech like why he won't be playing at Missouri this year and how much he appreciated the opportunity from Coach Kwanzaa Martin. And
it kills him that he couldn't be out there with my brother. Like, he made his brother reclassify. Yeah. What the hell? His brother's
he hurt his brother's stock.
his brother's like 16 years old. He's supposed to be a sophomore in high school, and they were like, "No, let's just skip all of high school."
He's
and
like in class. He's like, "This is hard.
Whoa,
I haven't learned anything."
But I'm a high school graduate somehow. It's amazing how it works. If you're good at basketball, they just let you skip everything. It's crazy. So yeah, I mean, I'm bummed out because like I want
to watch him play.
I want to watch him play. I say it over and over. I don't watch these kids when they're in high school. I wait for them to get to college.
The crazy thing about him, Mark Titus, is that I do watch him play in high school, and I haven't seen Michael Porter Jr. like play a lot. Like I haven't seen him play. Like every single time I'd see him, he just looks so cool. And like everyone just like is attracted to him, but he doesn't necessarily play basketball.
Was he the one that was killing in the Drew League, or was that Bagley?
That was Bagley. Yeah. That's what I mean.
See, I don't know anything about him. I know nothing about him. Hey, I got one more thing I want to do with you.
All right.
Do you know who John Rothstein is?
I do.
You're on Twitter, right?
I use the Twitter app.
Yeah. So John Rothstein, for those who don't know, he is a robot. He's everyone's favorite Twitter bot who covers college basketball.
Have you ever met him in real life or seen him in real life?
No, but I want to very badly.
Friend of the pod.
Yeah, he's probably a friend of the... Probably not, actually. But he's just like a... John Rothstein is...
We're not the right algorithm.
John, yeah, I'm sure you know who John Rothstein is if you're listening to this, but yeah, he's just like he has a ton of catchphrases. He's very hard to explain. Just go Google him and you'll find a lot of stuff. But anyway, one of his catchphrases is using the term palpable buzz. Mm-hmm. And so what he does is he says there's palpable buzz for One Shining Podcast, for example. He's like, I'm hearing about this new podcast, One Shining Podcast, palpable buzz.
Top 5 on the charts.
That's how he says it. So what he did over the summer is John Rothstein, who is a real journalist. He's got boots to the ground, checking all these teams out. He goes around from school to school, goes to practices, and he actually covers like the shitty schools that you and I will never even mention and don't care about, and never care about. He goes to these practices and talks to coaches, and then he starts tweeting about like the guys he's hyped for, and he says there's palpable buzz around this guy. So what I did here, Tate, was I thought it'd be fun to compile the list of all of the things that John Rothstein said there was palpable buzz around during this past offseason. So these are all the things this summer that he said we have palpable buzz about.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
You understand the premise?
I get it.
Okay. So we're going to start with number 1. The first thing last offseason, when the offseason started, the first thing he said, palpable buzz for Missouri. And we're gonna so
as a whole, just the state.
Well, I mean, like Michael, like the idea. There's palpable buzz in Columbia for the season coming up, right? So they're 2-1. They have no Michael Porter. He's not even traveling with the team, as we just said, and they just lost to Utah by 18. So I don't know. I don't think there's really palpable buzz there.
That's a dud, not a buzz.
I should have mentioned this too. So like the point of this is like we're going through to check like what
we're checking to make sure the buzz checks out.
Yeah, we're checking to see if the buzz checks out. Number 2, Brian Bowen's visit to Oregon.
Wow. When the Nike bag doesn't work.
He said there was palpable buzz in Oregon when Brian Bowen is out visiting. Then he says Missouri again. A lot of palpable buzz for Missouri. He says Arizona. That one's working out. Arizona.
Yeah. Well, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. CBS. He said there was palpable buzz surrounding CBS's coverage of the American Athletic Conference tournament this coming season. So that's yet to happen. We don't know. We don't know how that's going to work out.
Well, like CBS is excited about
it's gonna
it?
Be like they're going to show one game on like CBS Sports, channel 220.
Adam Zucker's really pumped
or something.
for CBS Sports Classic.
USC. They didn't look great against North Dakota State, by the way.
No,
but they're still okay. We still like them. Some event that he went to in New Jersey. Can't report on that one. Some AAU game he went to in Vegas. Can't report on that one. CJ Seaforth of Iona, who has not played a game, who has not even gotten in a game, and I tried to figure out why. I searched if he was injured. Is he suspended? Who is this guy? Couldn't find anything. I don't even know if he's on the team anymore. Dylan Osetkowski of Texas.
Ooh.
He's the guy who transferred from Tulane.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Texas play yet this year, but he's averaging 15 points and 12 boards, so he's been all right.
Pretty good.
Palpable buzz for that guy.
Pretty good.
Jamuni McNeese from Oklahoma, who played 16 minutes and scored 1 point against Ball State.
Pretty good.
J.J. Caldwell, Texas A&M, who he said was the buzz was beyond palpable.
What does that mean? What is the next level of palpable?
Yeah.
It's BPB.
I'll tell you what the next level is. It's J.J. Caldwell suspended for the first 5 games for DUI.
He did have a buzz. A lot of buzz. Too much buzz.
It's a lot of buzz. That's he had a very palpable buzz. Some Under Armour showcase for high schoolers that he went to over the summer. Who cares? Missouri yet again. This is 3 mentions of Missouri. I think we're finding the root of Michael Porter's curse. Is John Rothstein saying the buzz was a little too palpable? He's feeling the palpable buzz for Creed 2, which comes out next November, about a year from now.
Is he doing like entertainment tweets in the middle of this?
Yeah, Creed 2.
Creed 2 is...
I love their first album. Hopefully the second one's good. A guy named Charlie Brown at St. Joe's who hasn't played yet because he has a wrist injury. He said Kai Bowman's work ethic. Not Kai Bowman. Kai Bowman plays at Boston College. He's the guy with the red hair.
He's great.
Yeah.
From North Carolina.
He called him a gym rat and said there's palpable buzz around his work ethic. And he's been good this year. He's got 14 points. He's averaging 14 points.
I think he changed his hair, right? I think he got rid of the red hair.
I only know him.
I know. That's why I said I think it was a big mistake.
I'm not up to speed on Boston College basketball as I might. Mekhi Ashton Langford of Providence. He's doing okay. 5 points a game. That's all right.
That's not enough for
palpable buzz. Colin Gillespie of Villanova averaging 8 points a game. He's a freshman. He's doing okay.
Palpable.
Shai Gilgeous Alexander. How do you say his name again?
Gilgeous Alexander.
Gilgeous.
Just Michael Carter Williams.
Shai Gilgeous Alexander, who you and I love. The buzz is palpable for this guy.
Love is a stretch. He's a good defender. My God.
I just tried to put words in your mouth.
Love.
I was just trying to keep you honest. I had to think, so I was listening back to our first 3 podcasts and I noticed we say that we love a lot of things, and I noticed like the other one of us would just be like, yeah, we do, and I just thought I could throw some things by you.
Love that guy.
We love Duke. Najee Marshall, Xavier, who on the season at Wisconsin he was 0 for 2. Scored 1 point, so not really sure what the buzz is about that guy. Ray Spalding went 1 for 6, fouled out, scored 2 points, and had 3 turnovers in Louisville's only game.
I do love Ray Spalding.
I do too. I like him a lot. But
and I will say Deng Adele played 39 out of 40 minutes in their first game. That's probably not a good sign.
Yeah, that's not good. Spalding, I think he knew the buzz was a little
If only they had another 5-star on campus that played small forward that could. Oh, okay.
We got a few more. He went to some alumni event in St. Louis at St. Louis University that he got invited to. He said the buzz was palpable for that. Mm-hmm. No word if it was a gala or a luncheon or a banquet. So I can't report on how.
I bet it was a banquet.
Probably. It feels like a.
Gala's too fancy.
Gala's too fancy for John Rothstein. They don't let robots go to those. Miles Cale of Seton Hall had palpable buzz over the summer. He's scoring 7 points a game, averaging 18 minutes. Okay.
He'll get to play in the NIT.
There's palpable buzz for DePaul's new arena. They built a new arena called Wintrust Arena. It's 7 miles from the campus, as Rothstein reported.
It's a big year for DePaul.
He said Rosemont was 18 to 20 miles away. It's a huge difference for them.
Huge.
So the new arena holds about 10,000 people. First game that they held there, they hosted Notre Dame. Almost sold it out.
Nice.
Looks like he was right. Second game, they got 4,000 people.
Not quite palpable buzz.
Not quite palpable anymore. Elijah Burns in Notre Dame. He plays about 10 minutes a game. DeMonte Williams is IQ, Frank Williams' son. His IQ has the palpable buzz, not himself. He has 2 assists, 0 turnovers this year, so I don't know. Maybe he's got some IQ. Adonis Enriquez at St. Louis has not played in a game yet, and nobody knows why. The team is playing in the 2K Classic. He traveled with the team, but is not in the arena during the games. He's got the Michael Porter going on.
Well, at least he traveled with the team. That's actually better.
There's like a theme to this with Rothstein. I think the Rothstein's causing all this. Eli Brooks at Michigan has played 20 total minutes and has 2 career points. Had a 3 trillion last game. Chris Wilkes at UCLA, who's their leading scorer. This is like the one that he got right. This is the one with the
everyone knows
buzz.
Chris Wilkes.
But Chris Wilkes was he's averaging 19 a game. UCLA's leading scorer. Jordan Usher, USC, has scored 1 point in 2 games. And finally, Bruno Fernando at Maryland, who Maryland fans absolutely love this guy. Yeah. He's like the energy guy. He's averaging 8 points a game. He's the hype man. He's the get the crowd going. So that's your update for those of you who like to track the palpable buzz list.
That was a pretty good list.
It was all right. I thought it'd be a fun segment.
Yeah, I had fun. I learned a lot about John Rothstein's interests, especially about Creed too.
Anything else we need to talk about before we?
Not that I can think of. I will say this: I can't believe Kevin Ollie won a national championship. I just want to throw that out there.
What made you think of that?
Nothing. Just a thought I had.
You just had that thought.
Yeah, I can't believe that. Kevin Ollie, good for you, buddy.
You just woke up in a night sweat last night, or just
it happens all
Kevin?
the time. I just
wait, what?
I look at the list of champions. I'm like, Kevin Ollie. Oh my God.
So thank you for listening. If you want to follow us on Twitter, I am at Club Trillion. He is at Tate Frazier. I'll say it for you. You want to say it? Say it yourself. They want to hear it from you. Yeah, at Tate Frazier. We are at One Shining Pod as a collective. Yeah, Talk to us on social media. We enjoy seeing the tweets. We enjoy getting the feedback. We enjoy being corrected. Are we doing a pod next week?
Yes.
It's Thanksgiving week?
Monday.
Yeah, we're out in LA. Are you going home for Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll be back
You're
Saturday.
soft. You know where I'm going to be for Thanksgiving? Right here in LA.
Well, 'cause
working.
you're a
I'm gonna be
champion.
working. I'm an LA guy now.
Welcome to LA.
I love LA. It's awesome. I love the motorcycles. You got the one thing about LA, the difference between living in Ohio and LA is in Ohio, we do not have, when people are like, when you're driving, you don't have motorcycles just like weaving in and out of you on the interstate, and that happens in LA. And
all the time.
It makes me shit my pants every time it happens.
I think it's just bold of those people.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's the one thing that's jumped out to me since I've been out here. So
That's it?
that's pretty much it. Yeah, like that's literally it. Like the rest
Hey,
of it
welcome
feels,
to show business, folks.
there's like great weather. I don't know. The traffic's terrible, and then every now and then a motorcycle just like flies by me as I'm sitting in traffic, and I'm like, what the? And then I get really mad at that guy, probably because I'm just jealous that I'm sitting in traffic. And
There's a great Nathan For You thing where he pays a guy and he rides on the back of his motorcycle all the time, and it's a service. Like he's like, this is a way to get through traffic in LA. Yeah, you just have a guy that picks people up.
It's so
on
crazy
his motorcycle.
that like people are just kind of used to that, or I don't know. It's funny that people are like used to these things. And
People in LA are. Used
I have a
to
story,
lot.
by the way. Like, you know what else? You know what? We need to get to the bottom of this. We're going off the rails, but who cares? It's a Friday. It's a casual Friday podcast, and I'm just going to go with it. I go to dinner, and I'm not going to name names. Like maybe there are Ringer employees there, maybe there aren't. I don't know. We're not going to say. I get invited to a dinner, right? First dinner I get invited to out in LA.
I've
I'm
never
excited.
got invited to a dinner.
Yeah. It's like, hey, you want to come grab dinner with me and some friends? Like, sure. That sounds fun. I heard LA has great food. I'm ready to check it out. Where are we eating? Morton's Steakhouse in Beverly Hills. One, there are Mortons all over the world.
Yes.
I want to try some LA food. Two, you pick freaking Beverly Hills, like an expensive steakhouse. I'm a guy who I don't spend more than $10 on any meal for any reason whatsoever, right?
Yes.
So I get invited, and I'm like, I should probably do it. I'm going to be living it up. My friends and family aren't going to care. I'm going to tell them I went to a nice steakhouse in Beverly Hills, and they're going to just go wild and think that I'm, like a millionaire now or something. Like I finally made it. Their baby boy made it. So I go to this dinner, right? And my strategy is I'm going to get the cheapest thing. That's always the strategy when you go to these steakhouses. I don't appreciate
Aside.
I want to get the smallest thing without drawing attention to myself.
Yes.
For everyone's like, you obviously
You're
have no
weak.
money.
Yeah.
And it's not even about the money. It's just like the principle. I'm not trying to spend $200 on a steak. I don't care that much. It's just, like I'll go to a freaking grocery and buy a steak and throw it on the grill, and I'll probably make it better than they do anyway. So I picked the cheapest steak. All the sides are shareables. They all cost like $30 a piece.
This is a ribeye, right? You picked a ribeye?
I forget what it was, but
Probably
yeah, it was like
ribeye,
it was like $60 still.
Yeah.
I get no sides because like I'm not trying to spend $20 on a side. I don't want to be held responsible for the sides. Everyone else starts to ordering sides. I was like, well, if there's leftovers, maybe I'll get scoop little potatoes, do that.
Little scoop.
I don't get any drinks because like beer is $12 just to get I don't even know if they had beer. I looked for like a beer menu, and it was like we have cocktails and we have like $5,000 bottles of wine, and that's it.
Or we can just inject you with straight alcohol.
Can I get a Coors Light? Like, can we do that?
Sir, please get out of our restaurant.
Yeah. So I don't get any drinks. Everyone at the table does. I don't get any salad. Everyone at the table does.
Yes.
I don't get any appetizer. Everyone at the table does. I don't get any sides. Everyone else at the table does.
Who are you with?
I'm not naming names. Everyone else is having the time of their life. I'm just trying to eat my little steak, socialize, be a team player. The check comes. I get out my card. I'm like, I'm gonna pay. I don't expect anybody to treat me or whatever. Everyone kind of chips in, and the waitress goes, "Do you want to split that up?" And I said, "Yeah, we'll split it up." And then a person I was with, who will remain nameless, said, "Yeah, just go ahead and split it evenly." Yeah. I had the same reaction, Tate. I had the same reaction. So I go to this restaurant. I get like a little thing of
So all your tactical work at this point, everything that you've planned and put into place is now all for naught. Now we're all under the same playing field.
So I get like a little tiny. I got a fillet. It's coming back to me. I get like the tiniest fillet. Like I get the 6-ounce fillet. Yeah, because it was like $60.
You had 2 bites of food.
I was like, screw
You're
it.
still starving.
I'm gonna go to Arby's on the way home. I get a 4-ounce fillet on like a massive plate, and I was like, okay, this is fine. Whatever. I'm socializing. I thought I was going to spend $60 on it, which like I was already trying to like process that. I was like, I'm going to spend with tax tip. I'm going to spend like $80 on a freaking 4-ounce fillet. I ended up spending $175.
What the hell?
And my question to
Did
you
you
is,
start eating their food? You should have started going to their plates. Like, all right, well,
that was the thing.
This is
So
the sides.
this
I will
all
start eating
happened
this.
after we were done eating, and there was a ton of leftovers, like with the sides. And by the way, they weren't just getting sides. Like one person ordered the lobster mac and cheese, which is just like fucking like.
The lobster mac and cheese is like $100.
Like it's like I don't know. It's ridiculous. So this all happens like after we have all the leftovers, and the waitress comes and is like, "Do you guys want to take any of this home?" And I was like, "I kind of do, but
All of it. All of it.
So I say no, and then the bill thing happens, and I was like, "Well, shit, bring the leftovers back and let me take those home."
Did you get
they
them?
weren't my leftovers to take, and it was like this whole thing. So the reason I bring it up to you is this how Ellie works? Like, is this if I go to dinner with someone and I say let's split the bill, is the understanding that we're going to split it evenly? Because if so, I'm going to play this very differently next time.
I feel like it is. People in
That
LA
is how they do it.
Well,
Because in Ohio, if you're splitting the bill, it's like you pay for what you ordered, I pay for what I ordered.
it's the
Not
same
like,
in North Carolina when people do things like you know what you did, you know what you put in, but in LA, like it's an extravagant affair and like everyone's well off enough to handle it.
We're all a family.
Yeah. It's like we're in Beverly Hills, we're having a good time. You're well off. I'm well off.
Yeah, we're
You're
rich.
well off. You know, like we're
Let's
gonna
celebrate.
be okay.
It's like
no.
no, I'm frugal. You know what?
If I had to pay for that meal based on my current bank account, I would have $175.
Who is the model that said like nothing tastes as good as thin feels? Do you know this quote that someone's like some supermodel said that one time?
Kate Moss or something.
That might have been her. I don't know. As all this
Naomi
went down,
Campbell.
I was thinking nothing tastes as good as fiscal responsibility feels. Like that's how I was. It's not about the money. It's just about the responsibility. It's about
What's in my pocket?
and it's about principles. I don't know. So that's my LA story.
I think you
That's
should
my
have
welcome
thrown
to
a fit.
LA.
I'm sorry
I'm
that
not
that
gonna.
was your LA.
I'm not gonna name names. I'm not gonna say it's a Ringer staffer that you know. I'm not gonna do that. I said
think I
no.
know.
I said I'm not. I said I'm not gonna do that, Tate. So
I think I could have been here and I could have been in the hole also. So I'm really glad I wasn't
You may
there.
or may not have been invited to this dinner.
Boy, am I glad I wasn't
And you
there.
may be declined because you may or may not have had this happen to you before, and you probably saw this coming a mile away. I've learned my lesson. So that's it.
That's an LA life lesson.
Thank you for listening to the pod. We will be back next week with at least one more pod. We'll do one more podcast.
Monday, and then we'll probably do one. I was thinking we could do one Sunday or
we could
something.
do it. Yeah. We'll make it work. So thanks for listening. Save the crew.